I thought that implementing payments will be difficult. There are many steps to do and you have to make sure that you follow the Apple's guideline. But I never knew that a small mistake can take up so much of my time and make it even more difficult to implement payments into my app. So today I'll be talking about the steps that I took, the problems that I faced, and the solution to them. So let's go. The installation. I wanted to use RevenueCat for the payment processing because a lot of people are using it. First, I went to RevenueCat to add a new project to accept the payment processing. It gave me a prompt to paste into an AI with the relevant details to make sure that the AI knew the context. I pasted the prompt into Claude where it told me to install the dependencies, updated my auth context to sync the Superbase user information with the RevenueCats, and gave the code of the context that will share the subscription details among the pages. I then surrounded the app with the provider from the context in the layout file, and also pasted in this use effect from the RevenueCat recommended project setup. I wanted this paywall to show after the user click on the crown icon at the top right hand corner of the home page, and the crown icon itself should only show for non-pro people only, or rather the people who didn't pay for the subscriptions. Once everything is set up, I tested the app to see what I did. An error appeared saying that the variable log level doesn't exist in the layout file, and then I realized that the use effect from the RevenueCat setup was not necessary at all because the function is also in the context file, so it's basically like a duplicate, so it had to be gone. After this, I created a table to store the subscribers in so that I can get the pro features using this data. I made sure that the table only allows the user to view but not insert, update or delete, just in case some people want to change the subscription somehow. Those functions like insert, update or delete will only be done by the service role or the admin, and those functions are activated by the backend code. So the backend, basically simpler terms, have the access to the admin role and then they can manipulate the data from the backend. I then deployed this backend function and added a secret custom key into Superbase. This key is set from RevenueCat where you set the webhook authorization header as bearer space then your chosen password. Both the Superbase secret and the RevenueCat secret have to be the same. I tested everything out, opened my paywall on the top right hand corner, looks kinda ugly but it is fixable, and subscribe to one of the options. Everything worked. The app showed success, the icon at the top right hand corner was gone, RevenueCat was showing revenue for the sandbox data, the customer is shown in the app. I went to Superbase to check the subscription table, but it was empty. The user did not appear in the Superbase table. I asked Claude to fix it and it told me to check the URL in the Superbase function to see if it is the same. It is. It then told me to check the RevenueCat logs. I saw the 401 error and kept that in mind. It then told me to check the Superbase functions logs, but the code didn't even work. Told me to check the secrets, make sure that the RevenueCat webhook secret was there. Yep, it is. Told me to redeploy the function, did that. Gave me the code to log the payload, pasted that and redeploy the backend. When I tested the app out, a new log appeared saying that I am using a test store to test the app. To fix the problem, Claude told me to use the RevenueCat's manual test instead. But nope, still have 401 error. It then told me to check the secret for both RevenueCat and the Superbase again. And to add the console logs into the backend then redeploy again. But nope, it doesn't seem to be the problem. Both keys looked right. It then told me to deploy with a no verify JWT flag and redeploy again, but nope, didn't work. It then told me to add more error handling and logging again and redeploy again. Nope. I checked the RevenueCat logs and it's still the same. And then when I was on the RevenueCat page, I realized something. It seemed that the webhook events are different. Maybe that's the problem. But I soon realized that both are two different things. One is the test event and another is the paywall events. So it doesn't really matter. I then went back to the app to test the app again. The logs didn't even appear this time. And then Claude just told me to check the Superbase logs again, check the URL again, deploy again, and test the endpoint, which gave a whole curl command. I had no clue where it was supposed to be placed because both the VS Code terminal and Windows terminal gave me an error when I pasted it. I gave up on this and also gave up on Claude. I asked ChatGPT instead, giving the context and the codes. It told me to check the webhook URL, the logs, and the function deployments. I did that so many times again and again and again. In addition, it told me to check the customer ID of the RevenueCat, if it was anonymous or not, and then to add the logs to check for the RevenueCat user. Nope. It also told me to check the RevenueCat's webhook header. Then something clicked in my head. A moment earlier replayed in my head. I didn't paste the secret, but I pasted the entire string. Bearer, space, then the secret key, instead of just the secret key in the Superbase. I immediately knew that it was definitely the problem, so I edited it and then the user appeared. Now the Superbase have the user information. connecting the purchases into the App Store. The next challenge was submitting the in-app purchases into the App Store. I remember that the last time I did it, I keep getting an error from Apple saying that the in-app purchases need to be purchasable by a sandbox Apple environment. I kept submitting the app into the App Store thinking that each time the solution will fix the problem, but no. So I needed to make sure that everything works this time before I submit the app. To hopefully do so, I added the subscriptions and the one-time payment into the App Store Connect, made sure that I signed into my sandbox account on my physical device, made sure that the in-app purchase key from Apple is in there, App Store API key from Apple is there, made sure that the product names are correct, the entitlement is connected to the right products, and then tested the paywall on a development build to see in action. I expected the paywall to show 3 buttons to show 3 different prices for users to click to select the prices. The buttons didn't even appear, and I received an error that says error fetching offerings. Claude mentioned that the products might not be attached to a build. I checked RevenueCat, and every product said missing metadata. I went back to App Store Connect to check. There was a warning that said that the products need to be attached to a build. When I tried attaching the subscriptions and the in-app purchase to the build by pressing the Add to Review button, Apple won't let me. It needed a review screenshot. I had no clue what the image should be, so I checked the previous app that I had and saw that I simply just uploaded a screenshot of the paywall, so I did that. I rebuilt the app for production build, added the build into the App Store, clicked the Add to Review button for each product in the App Store Connect, and everything finally showed ready to submit. That means maybe the app and the products should be attached. I installed the test flight build, opened the paywall, and it worked. Now I have a paywall. And now here comes the fun part of actually building the pro features for the people that are paying it. Finally. So yeah, this is how I implemented the in-app purchases and subscriptions into my app and the problems that I face and the solutions that fix the problems. So anyways, that's my opinion. Bye.